Hey, welcome to the rebuild series. This is going to be part 2. In this part, we're going to be doing bearing installation. Then we're going to do some retention clips on those bearings. And then after that, we're going to do seals. So this is going to be a bit of a longer episode here. You can see I'm installing this first bearing here. I didn't have any audio on this bit, but I wanted to provide a little bit of an intro while simultaneously getting us right into it, right? So here, I'm using just a freezer and an oven, a freezer for the bearing and an oven for the part. And that one dropped right in. You can see right there, just fell in nice and flush. That's not the case with all the bearings you'll see coming up here. I have some significant trouble with a lot of these. So I'll check back in a little bit, but follow along, see how I did these bearings. I progressively had to get a little bit more assertive and increase the temperature, decrease the temperature respectively, as different bearings and their interference fit proved to be a bit of a challenge. So there it went. Move this over so you can see a little better here. Yep, that's perfect. Oh, careful, the case is hot. Good. It's going pretty tricky. Grab that. Nope. Dang. No. I can't get it. It's too crooked. I'll have to pull that one and redo it. Towards the engine case, yeah. Yep. If I can push that in, it'll.
On your glove?
There it went.
Do you want the letter?
I don't think there's letters on that one.
But there's that edge.
A rounded edge and a flat edge. A flat edge goes to the bottom. And I don't think...
That's crooked the way it sits in there.
I don't think it's gonna need... We need a bigger socket. Dang, I didn't realize. A bigger socket, otherwise I would have had it ready. That's pretty good right there. Can you come hold the case? Here. Just hold it like this. It's gonna be really gentle. Oh yeah, there we go. I think that's it. I think that's as far as it goes. Yeah, that's as far as she goes. All but one, and that one I'm confident we can get. Let's get the blind bearing puller out. And okay, we gotta pull this bearing. It's heated up, so it kind of makes it annoying that it's hot. The whole case is kind of hot. This is small enough to go in there, so it is the right size. It's just tight. There we go. Alright, we're through to the other side. And tighten her down. Crescent wrench it is. We're through on all sides. Okay. There we go. Try again here. I'm going to put this back in the oven and heat it back up. That way we have a better chance of getting this bearing in there.
Round two, here we go.
Let's see if we can put put this underneath. Give it a little extra support. I suspect that may be why it went crooked, because it was
That's in there straight.
No, it's not, but it's okay. I'll get it straightened out here. And when you really need to start hitting on it, you better be sure which side needs to be hit. Dang, it is really not wanting to go in there. I don't think it's going. I think what I'm going to do is put it on the ground here. See if we can eliminate some of the vibration of the bench top. Solid anyway. The case doesn't sit flat on the surface that I'm pounding the case on, so that means, I know you probably can't hear me that well, but that means that when I insert a bearing on this side, like this one went in fine because this has got two flat surfaces to sit on. There's nothing supporting, and I've been trying to use this piece of wood to keep it, but it still gets crooked, which ultimately leads to the bearing inside of here getting crooked. You can see that it's crooked right there. Yeah, you can see how off it is right there. I might try the soft grips on the vise and see if the vise can press it. How am I going to do this? If I put that like that into the vise, that might work. Wish I had a way to keep it in alignment. Okay, so this is the situation, right? I gotta get this in here, then I gotta get these two pieces. I gotta take this off. I can't feel anything. This piece on that, this piece needs to go on the bearing, and this piece needs to go on that piece, like that. Making it crooked. It's flat on there. Okay, it's not doing it. Back it on out. I'm not sure if it went in any further or if it just sat there and shrugged at me like, you suck.
You suck!
Try and pull it out of there. Boy, we're so close though. The thing is, you can't keep going. You get to a point where you just can't go any further because it's too crooked. I think we have to pull it back out. Again. I hate doing that because it's not good for the bearing to be yanking it in, pushing it, putting it in, pulling it out. Okay, so the deal is, I'm not happy with the way this is going with the engine case. The bearing won't go in. We've tried 3 or 4 times now, and it's just not working. So I'm actually gonna kind of up the game. I'm gonna go get some dry ice. I don't really feel comfortable increasing the temperature on the oven too much. I might increase it from 215 to 250, and then go get some dry ice, and we'll see if the dry ice and the slightly increased temperature will just allow the bearing to drop. I'm just hoping it'll just drop in. So I'm gonna grab a cooler from behind me off the shelf, and I'm gonna go, and I'll be back.
2 hours later.
All right. Holy crap, that's cold. Okay, let me get the bearing and throw it in here. In a cooler, then a cooler inside of another cooler. And lid on that cooler until we're ready. So right here I decided to go to the other engine case half. I hadn't started on any of the bearings in that engine case half yet. I wanted to give that other bearing a little bit of a rest, both myself and the bearing itself, to really cool off before I tried it. So here I started on the other engine case half. I like to start with the smallest, what I perceive is the easiest bearing first. Here you can see I'm using some Lucas Oil assembly lube, right? It's just a little more viscous than transmission oil. Transmission oil is totally viable as well. You could use transmission oil for this, but I'm using this assembly lube because I happen to have it on hand. And I'm starting off with this little bearing here. And it should just drop right in. It's out of dry ice, so it's a lot colder than it needs to be, that little guy. And he's held on anyway by bolts and washers and things. So that one side, we're good to go. And now we're going to start on the 3 bearings on this side here, starting with the smallest. So I'll start with the smallest, and I don't really have nearly as much trouble on this half here. I do have some trouble on the middle bearing, but it turns out pretty good, I think, overall. So keep following along and learn from my mistakes coming up.
I don't have a small enough one for this. I'm going to just use this littlest guy. Get out of there, you.
And riding up?
Yeah, riding up. So that's the trick, right? Start it straight and slam the shit out of it.
Wow, there is lube all over the inside of that now. I guess you can clean that all up later, right?
Yeah. Okay, ready for the next one now?
Shreddy. Frigid.
Oh, it's crooked.
It's all frosty.
It's crooked again.
It's like it's sticking?
Yeah, it's like the Christmas Story when the kid's
Tongue gets stuck to it? Yeah.
You know, I can straighten it a little bit.
Oh, I can see it warming up.
Yeah, you see it frosty.
Oh,
No, not cool. It sucks. At the engine case at first.
I wish all of them would go in.
The edge right here. The edge is too far up. Now is it too far the other way? Yeah. Look at the bottom edge now.
Well, if you hit it flat, will it just even
It's
it out?
not. No. I think I'm getting it.
Cheater saw.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I would like to drive it straight.
What? It's not called a cheater saw.
Teeter-totter.
Teeter-totter.
Seesaw.
Seesaw. Wow, my brain is so dumb sometimes.
Teeter saw. It's not that dumb. You had 2 of the right words, just 2 of the missing words.
Oh, he's doing it.
Okay. Teeter saw.
I've heard it.
Yeah, that feels... Case is still pretty hot. Yeah, we're good.
Hooray, you did it.
Okay. Back up here. The mallet.
I zoomed in, I need to zoom out. Do, 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 do.
Right.
Okay, next.
We officially have
Oh, it's not gonna go
two
in
bearings.
that big one.
There's no way. This isn't hot enough anymore.
Yeah.
Looking good so far. Let's see if this big one goes in. It's not even cold to the touch, so I'm gonna drop this back in the oven to keep it warm. Maybe get some of this excess gunk off. That way I'm not sliming up the oven. And then we'll maybe reconvene in 15 minutes or so.
20 minutes later.
Here we go. Hot case, cold bearing. Please just drop in. Oh, it just dropped in. Oh, beautiful. Holy crap. That was awesome. Just inspecting to make sure it dropped in straight. Yeah, there's no way it didn't go in all the way. Okay, I think I've got this, the dry ice method dialed. I've got the engine half, and we're down to this last bearing for the engine case. So here we go. I'm gonna pull it out of the oven, and we're gonna walk outside. It's like sandwiched in there. So I put it in between two pieces of dry ice in this mini cooler that's inside of this regular cooler. It still has look how cold that is. It's like the bearing's so cold that my hands don't even want to touch it. It's crooked in there. Let me see if I can fix that by using it. There it went. So I'm going to tap on it a couple of times here. It's smoking as it heats up. I'm going to tap on it before it gets too hot here. Okay. That's got to be as close as it's ever going to get. So that's the dry ice method. You got to put dry ice. You can't put the bearing in multiple plastic bags or anything. You've got to coat it in some oil and then put the dry ice on. I like to sandwich the bearing in between two pieces of dry ice. And I ended up going hotter with the oven this time. I went 350 degrees because it just wasn't going with the original 250. So that's the dry ice method. So I installed some lighting in the garage, and it runs off my phone. So I have a smart switch that operates off Bluetooth, hooks up to the phone, so I can turn the lights in the garage off. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. I'm back on using the phone. So that's not the reason I'm recording this video. The lighting thing, I recorded it. It may come up in a separate video. I wanted to bring up the length of this overall video. The thing we're doing here, we're putting in the bearings, right? And it's taken forever. And the next step is to put in the seals, and that takes almost just as long because each seal requires a little bit of adjustment. It gets a little crooked. I'm learning as I go, so it's taking 2 to 3 times longer than it should. And I edited the whole thing together, both the seals and the bearings. It's like 40 minutes long, and we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do a 40-minute long video of just bearings and seals. So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna put out around 10-minute long, or no, around 15 to 20-minute long videos, one with bearings, one with seals. I know at the very beginning of this video I said we were going to do both bearings and seals in one. It's just not with the amount of footage and the amount of trouble, and I want to illustrate, you know, the whole learning thing here. It's just not doable. So I've got some exciting stuff coming up, a little bit of shop talk videos related to lighting, some of my tools in the garage here. I also have something that I got in the mail, a package that I got in the mail. So we're going to go through that after the seals video, and I'll show you what that looks like. So anyway, this is the end of this video. I just wanted to call it here and let you know I'm going to be putting out the video on the engine seals right away, so that you're going to get it first thing right after this, and that it's going to be about the same length. And I have a little bit of trouble with the seals too, so click on the next video wherever I decide to put it, maybe link in the description, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching.